In Fresh, I started when I was about 15. We made our first short film in school. We had a young filmmakers club, and it was run by a teacher, Mr. Areen. This is the school in Westport, and we made what was actually a really appalling short film. It wasn't even that short, it was 15 minutes, and looking at it now, it's kind of 15 minutes of agony. But he said, you know, if you get this made before January, you can put it into this film festival I founded. It was Fresh, and then we went down to the Galway Heats and we saw other films, and we didn't realise, even at the time, how terrible our film was, and we were very disappointed when it didn't get through. But it kind of gave us motivation to keep going back, so I put in a few group projects, and then in the summer before my leaving cert, I made a short documentary called Young Songwriters, which is very self-explanatory. It's about young people who write songs. And that got through to the final, and that was pretty much my own work. I had a bit of help from my brother and one of my friends, but you know, I kind of presented it and did the camera and the editing and everything, and I think it's from that film, Young Songwriters, that I was chosen to be in the Hot House group that the Fresh Film Festival organised. I wrote the treatment. We found from the Hot House group, this kind of talent group of people that they'd chosen from the festivals, that they could apply for a grant for us and get us money to make a film together, which we all thought was great, and then we found out that we had it, and they gave us about a 2 or 3 week time period to write scripts or treatments and send them in. And I kind of had an idea floating around in the back of my head, but I didn't actually write my treatment until about 4 o'clock in the morning, the night before I had to be in. And I'd fallen asleep, but I woke up at 4 and I was like, oh God, I haven't written anything yet. And I have to send something in, like it's too good an opportunity not to pass up and not put anything through. So I wrote this treatment in a bit of a rush and edited it when I got up at a reasonable hour the next day and sent it in. And the very last thing I did was attach like a working title to it, because I didn't want to send it in untitled, because it looks better if you say the name of the project. And I was going, okay, it's about cameras and photography and captured. And even when the treatment was picked to be pitched in our group meeting, we had 2 scripts going against one another and we both pitched, I was still saying, you know, captured guys, it's just a working title, you know, I just threw it on so there'd be something we could call it, but this can change, and it's still captured. No one seems to have any desire to change it, even though it really was a last minute decision. I'd love to say that when you make a film, you know, as a director, you shouldn't compromise, you know, you should be number one, but the aim is that you try not to compromise, but you should be very understanding when you have to. The very first day, the AD, Alan, had scheduled it to be all these outside exterior scenes, and it was heavily raining. Raining to the point where we couldn't film outside. We weren't allowed to take the cameras out in that rain. So there was an immediate compromise of what we could do, and one of the scenes was really quickly put together by the art department. Very good job, quickly dressing a hall so we could sit in there, because we were shooting in these houses in the Castle Oaks Hotel, and they didn't look like someone's home. They looked like nice little empty holiday houses that you go and stay in. So every time we wanted to do a scene in any of the rooms, we had to go and find loads of rubbish to throw in it, like blankets and just phone books and bits of just things that make it look like someone actually lives there. So just there was lots of skipping around, and some of the locations we wanted to use were kind of difficult. Like we had to shoot outside a swimming pool at one point, but we couldn't shoot outside the swimming pool if there were people in the pool, because they wouldn't want to be filmed, and they're staying as part of the hotel, so we can't really tell them to go. But like scheduling wise, there was lots of changes made, and I'm trying to think about the story. I think by the time we'd gotten to shooting, we'd eliminated most of the things that were really difficult to shoot. Oh well, it's completely different to a shoot on your own. There's definitely, when you shoot on your own, there might even be less pressure, because if anything goes wrong, it's definitely just you, and being responsible for a crew was very. People think the director is going to lead and have this really clear vision, and I felt very unsure, and I really like kind of group participation and group opinions, and like working with so many talented people. Like it really takes you down a few notches when a 16-year-old is pointing out all the things you're doing wrong, and it's like, oh, thank you guys, I'll take this on board, but we need to keep going now in this wrong direction. It's fine, but I wouldn't change it at all, and it's just such a wonderful group to work with as well. Like the variety of people's different ideas and styles and ages and where they come from, what sort of things they like and how they shoot, and we had a really good time that week when we were shooting. Well, first there was a fire at the end. As we know, that went a long time ago. It's far too expensive to have a fire. But besides the obvious story arc having changed quite a bit, the extra characters that have been added in that really add to it, and there's more of a... I think it's more visual now than when I first wrote the treatment. I was thinking a lot about kind of the use of the internet, which is it's a very interesting aspect of it, but it's hard to portray on screen because you can't kind of sit and watch someone at a computer for a film. So scenes where she takes part the montage of her life that she's got on her wall, the notice board where people put everything, their tickets and their photos and things, and puts that up and redoes it and takes it up again. It's all everything became a lot more visual so that it would be more interesting to look at. And locations like the swimming pool at the end, the dark swimming pool, that's very aesthetically pleasing. It looks very pretty and creepy, ghoulish. Well, the film itself is about the insecurities of a teenage girl, but I think it extends beyond teenagers nowadays to women in general, and not only women but men. But it's just a general feeling of insecurity around how we look, which is a big pressure in our culture nowadays, and something that I feel needs to be addressed quite a bit, which is probably why I captured